How has God always been here? So I just came back from church and the the sermon was actually about something completely different. But that made me wonder. I was having a conversation with my mother and we got on the topic of like God is infinite, he's always been here, but what does what does that consist of? Like, how could he have always been here? How if there isn't a definite starting point? Because that is how humans grasp time. So, first of all, I think the broader just belief that humans have is just like maybe we will understand it one day when all becomes more clear. One day when we're in heaven, when we're speaking to God and we're asking Him, like, how have you always, when we're actually there and He shows us the path, like, like when you get older, the path that you are destined to becomes more and more clear, questions become answered, etc. So maybe then that specific question could be answered. That can be a broader and more abstract way of thinking of it. Just kind of accepting that for an earthly human being, the infinity isn't you can't grasp it. It's impossible to grasp. So, kind of just accepting that he has always been here. Like in Psalm 90, verse 2, where there's said, "Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God," which just highlights how everlasting the Lord is. So, looking into it more, something that I found quite interesting was thinking of time as a entity on its own. So, okay, so in Genesis 1, verse 1, the very famous line that you always read when you try and start over with the Bible is, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." In the beginning. This can be interpreted as a beginning is like a entity, like God created time before He created the heavens and the earth. So, what really made me think about this is you get Chronos, and then you get Kairos. So Chronos is like in chronological order. It's the Greek god of time. The relative passing of time. Relative as in I wake up at 8. I eat breakfast at 9. I go to school at whatever your schedule is. That is relative time to you. Kairos is, okay, for example, you go to church, you meet someone, you make a friend, and you befriend them. 20 years later, you think back and you're just like, geez, that path was intended. Like, that really had meaning. Or you're busy speaking to someone, and while you're speaking to them, you think, geez, I have to go tell that one person, that random person, that I maybe insulted or something, that I'm sorry. It isn't relative to human understanding. Okay, I'm back. So, where I was going with this is that we don't understand the time that the Lord works in. We only understand our own. and He created our own time. So to be able to grasp his immortality, his him being here before the beginning of time. He created time. So that kind of puts into perspective just firstly how powerful, and secondly how almost in a weird way irrelevant our argument is, as we're trying to weigh up how long he's been here in a factor that he created. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. So then there's one other way to look at it, which I found extremely interesting when I'm researching it right now. I wondered, so the Lord was kind of he was destined to be he's like the one thing that has to be there for everything to make sense, because I mean there's inferior beings like humans, and like you can kind of call the universe a entity. So the universe, humans, for them to be here, for them to exist, for the whole universe to exist, for anything to have happened, there had to be something that made that happen. This is a bit more of like the science can kind of try and go against it. But if you think about it, I mean, science was also created by the Lord. Everything was.